As an AMSOIL dealer, sponsoring other dealers is one of the most important aspects of building your business and sharing the AMSOIL opportunity with others. If you're planning to prospect for potential downline dealers, though, you need to know how to get them registered. Up until recently, the only way to register a dealer was to have them fill out the G18C for U.S. registrations or the G18D for Canadian registrations, and to have a copy of this document actually mailed into AMSOIL Corporate. Based on demand and the fact that we now live in a wired world, AMSOIL now has online dealer registration to help expedite the process. Now a prospect can register anywhere at any time using their own computer, and they can become an AMSOIL dealer almost immediately. But there's still a process involved, and it's still vitally important that you know how to walk your prospect through that process. So let's now take a step-by-step look at how it's done.
The first thing you want to instruct your prospect to do to register to become an AMSOIL dealer online is to go into the AMSOIL corporate website. That's www.amsoil.com. Now, make sure that your prospect is not on an AMSOIL dealer website. If they go through a search engine like Google or Bing, there are obviously going to be a lot of options under AMSOIL, so they must make sure that they find the corporate website. In that case, that would be this link. And they'll know they're on the corporate website if they see welcome to the new amsoil.com. So you might want to coach them on that. Now, once they're on the AMSOIL corporate website homepage, they have three different options with which to access the Become a Dealer online process. One would be to go all the way down to the bottom in the black area under Buy Wholesale and click Become an AMSOIL Dealer. That is probably the least likely option since they would have to navigate all the way down to the bottom. A more likely scenario would be to click the Buy Wholesale button up here at the top and then click Become an AMSOIL Dealer. There's a third option, which I think is the most attractive and likely, and that's where they would go down to save 25%. They click on Save approximately 25%. If they click on any of those options, this is what's going to show up: the AMSOIL Dealer and the AMSOIL Preferred Customer registration options. Obviously, this prospect is interested in becoming a dealer, so they would register on the orange Register button here. Once they click on that, they're transported into the AMSOIL corporate online store. Dealer registration is what they are purchasing. They'll have two options, either a 6-month trial for $15 or the 1 year for $30. Once they've decided which option they want, they click Add to Cart. Once it's been added to the cart, they just move over to the right and click Checkout. Now they're ready to do the checkout. Now, let's just suppose that this particular dealer, in addition to the registration, wanted to also purchase product at this time. If that were the case, they would go over here, click the Continue Shopping button, and go ahead and go back and pick up the items that they want, and then proceed to checkout once again. We're assuming that this particular individual is interested just in the 1-year dealer registration option, no product at this time, so they would click Proceed to Checkout. The next page that comes up has an AMSOIL login on the left and create an account over here. Obviously, there's no account created yet, so this particular individual would click Create an Account. The next page is the new account registration information. The prospect is encouraged to fill in everything, is required to fill in everything that has a red star next to it. So obviously, the name, we'll need the address, city, drop-down box for the state, pretty standard stuff. Need the postal code. The prospect is also going to be asked to provide an email address. They'd require a password. and a confirm password. And then we'd need a phone number. Now the most important process, if you've coached the prospect correctly, they are going to be anticipating. They would be prompted to determine whether or not they're working with an AMSOIL dealer, and they would be prompted to provide that particular dealer's ZO number. If the dealer who's registering would happen to click this option, I have no preference, then this particular dealer would be granted to a dealer in the T1 Leads program. This one was coached properly, so they click on that option and then put the corresponding ZO number, your ZO number, in there. Once they've completed all of that, they click on Create My Account. And the password and confirm were not the same, so we're going to go back and change that. And this time it works. Okay, the next page has the sponsor information, the name. If you've coached them properly, you've indicated that they are going to have to produce their Social Security number. So they need to put in the Social Security number at this time. And also their date of birth. Now the spouse's name and spouse's Social Security number would be needed if this is going to be a husband and wife dealership. In this case, that is not the case, so you can leave that blank. Make sure that the address is right, the phone number is right, the email is right. If everything is correct, then it's time for Part C, Terms and Conditions. The prospect reads through the terms and conditions. They must agree to terms and conditions set forth above dealer, not for the spouse. The spouse is not an issue here. And they should also check the I certify that I am the person applying for this dealership. They click both of those, and then they need to select the package. Well, they've already opted for the $30 one-year registration, but if you've coached your prospect properly, and especially if they're interested in really working the AMSOIL business, you've probably encouraged them to get the G700 business manual. So in addition to the 12-month registration, they tack on the G700 business manual for $75. If that's the option that they want, then they would go and click Continue and OK. Now, online store shipping address, this is just kind of for review. They make sure that everything is proper here. This is, of course, supposing that the shipping address is going to be the same as the address that they gave earlier. They're not interested in picking up at the warehouse here. Shipping options would be normal if everything's accurate. The prospect clicks Continue. Now, once again, they just click to see everything's right. Once again, a summary of what they're purchasing, a one-year membership, and the $45 for the G700, that's $75. All payments have to be via credit card when a dealer registers online. Everything's accurate and correct. Click Continue. Now the last phase, and that is to pay with a credit card. Visa, make sure you put your credit card number in there, the expiration date, the year, and the security code, and then you can click Complete the Order. And that is the process. Once you've done this, you will receive a notification email from AMSOIL, at which time you will receive your AMSOIL dealer or ZO number. It's really that simple, and this is what you'll want to coach your prospects to do if they are interested in becoming a dealer online.
Obviously, the more you know about the process of registering a dealer online, the easier it's going to be for you to help your prospect with that process. Remember, they're going to need to provide some personal information, like their Social Security number and their credit card number. So the prospect must be the one actually doing the registration, not you, the sponsoring dealer. It's your responsibility to make sure they know where the link is when to provide your ZO number at the appropriate time, and to answer any other questions along the way. As is the case with any prospect, the clearer you communicate with them, the easier and more efficient the process is going to be.